Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Akulon here, and welcome back to each and every one of you. And of course, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to have you here. Of course, in today's video, I'm taking you guys on a journey of one of the things that I enjoy the most. Whenever I wake up, I'm having my coffee, one of the first things I do is I browse Reddit, and more specifically, I love the subreddit Warcraft lore. Most of the time, it's just questions that really doesn't interest me, or discussions that we've already had on the channel, or sometimes discussions that I just genuinely don't have answers to. But every once in a while, there is a conversation or a topic that comes up that really does spark some discussion and does spark some amount of speculation. Whether true or not, I don't know. My job here is to tell you guys stories and to try and make sense of the story. I don't know if I'm correct, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, I don't really care. For me, it's about the fun that we're having, or at least that I'm having. I don't know, if you're not having fun, I don't know why you're watching this video. But the fun that I have whenever I look at the story of World of Warcraft, and I look at specific aspects of it, and I think about what the future could hold, or I think about maybe some potential lies that's been told to us, for whatever reason, in the lore in the past. So today's video is very much about the past, but it does have some implications to the current day Shadowlands. Now remember, you can join me live on Twitch, link in the description down below, every Tuesday to Friday, or every Sunday right here on YouTube for the Sunday Night Chill Show, where we have about 4 to 6 hours of just absolute unchecked lore. Remember to head on over and come join us. It is a lot of fun. Anyways, with all that said, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so the post that really got me thinking, the post that really set everything off here, is from a user called Morgan FNF. Morgan FNF, thank you very much for the post, really appreciate it. I know it wasn't addressed to me, but I still enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed some of the points that you raised there because it really did trigger a lot of the speculation that I have going on in my own mind through all of this. So let's just go through the post and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. During the pre-patch event, we saw the Cult of the Damned working with the Jailer and the Morsworn, but with no Lich King to control the Scourge, is there anyone raising any new Scourge? Bolvar purposely didn't create any new lieutenants or whatnot, relying solely on the Knight of the Ebon Blade. So, if there was anyone to raise them, then who? Well, on your first point, Morgan, just before we get into anything else, DKs can raise their own Scourge, and it stands to reason that there might be rogue DKs still out there. You have the Cult of the Damned that you just spoke about. They raise new Scourge all the time. It's not just the Lich King that has the ability to use necromancy. The Lich King had a very specific and unique set of skills, especially with Frostmourne, that would allow for him to actually gain power the more Scourge that he created. However, with something like the Cult of the Damned, it is more traditional in terms of more armies, right? More soldiers for your army, if you will. So the Scourge isn't entirely dead, nor is it finite, nor is there an end to it. There are multiple characters and creatures in World of Warcraft that has the ability to raise undead, and those would be considered Scourge, since being fully undead, like the Forsaken is, for example, requires seemingly a different sort of raising. It is authors who raised, let's say, higher Scourge, so Scourge that still had the ability to be somewhat intelligent and could eventually break free and go on their own, whereas the mindless Scourge that we see walking around, these were most likely more cannon fodder than anything else. That is, of course, my own speculation on the matter. It's not that it's, well, some of it has been confirmed. We know that the Knight of the Ebon Blades were far more cognizant and intelligent than the average Scourge. We also know that his lieutenants were far more cognizant and intelligent than the average Scourge. So we know there is a hierarchy and a ranking, but in my mind, it really depends on how you look at the story. Now, on to the next point here. You talk about the control, and if no one is there to control it. Now, I'm going to finish your post and then we'll get into that discussion, because I think that's where the real speculation lies. If no one is able to control them, then are they able to raise more, since they're mostly mindless beings rampaging? Now, first and foremost, remember that this is due to a plague. So we could make the argument that the general Scourge, the normal Scourge, and we see this in the pre-patch event, right? During the pre-patch event, a normal Scourge zombie could actually infect those around it. So yes, it is very much still an entity that is alive that can replicate. It is a virus. It is COVID-19, right? This virus wants to replicate itself and it wants to continue moving. So this plague, the normal Scourge, the mindless ones you see, I think lore-wise, if they bite you, they can infect you, which will then turn to you being a Scourge, or being born as a Scourge, rather. So yeah, all of this, basically, they can raise more on their own, even if that's not the intention, right? They don't intend to raise more, but they somehow still manage to do it. So yeah, they can absolutely do that. But I want to focus more on the control bit, because I think that's where the real speculation lies. Now, we've heard this, right? This was said to us from Wrath of the Lich King. When Arthas died, his own father said, there must always be a Lich King. And this is why Bolvar became the Lich King. But with new information, especially in the Shadowlands coming out, I'm starting to question this, and I'll quickly go full screen because, well, Morgan, thank you so much for your post. It really did spark, just a lot of speculation and theories and thoughts in my mind. So if you ever watch this video, thank you, I really appreciate it. But everyone believed it, everyone gobbled it up, right? There must always be a Lich King, otherwise the Scourge will run rampant and they'll destroy the whole world. I don't think that's true. I think that when Arthas' father, when Tyrannus Menethil spoke to us, spoke to the player, spoke to Arthas, when he said that there must always be a Lich King, I believe that this was Zuval. I don't think you need a Lich King. The Scourge, for the most part, is mindless. They have no ability to decide to attack anyone. They're not going to launch an assault on the natural world. They're just not. They're mindless. They're just going to keep existing the way that they exist, regardless, right? They seemingly will become docile unless you disturb them. And of course, we could launch assaults on mindless Scourge and probably wipe out the last one on the planet. So it's not as if it really is necessary. Not only that, but if you think about the order of things, there must always be a Lich King, because the Scourge will run rampant without one. But here's the problem. The Scourge is a direct creation of the Lich King. Without the Lich King, there is no Scourge, therefore no Lich King would be required. You also think about this. The Lich King wasn't always. He didn't come with Azeroth as a sort of box set, right? He was placed there by Sargeras, and yes, you could argue, well, now that he's created the Scourge, surely there must always be a Lich King, but I don't think so, especially considering the newest information we got. When Zuval spoke to Bolvar, well, actually tortured Bolvar, he told Bolvar that you were meant to be the herald of my coming. So we know that the Lich King has an incredible job to do for the Jailer. The Lich King is meant to prepare the path for the coming of Zuval. Zuval, of course, tells him, you failed like those who came before you. So I don't think when Tyrannus Menethil spoke, I don't think he was talking. I think it was Zuval. I think it was the Jailer. There must always be a Lich King. I must always have my herald. I mean, it's now more clear than ever that the only reason Bolvar didn't become Arthas 2.0 is because he refused the gift. He refused the power that the Helm could give him. He used it, but only to control the Scourge, no more. It was only when he faced off against Sylvanas that he finally opened himself up and accepted all of that power into himself. So what is the implications of this? That's the question that I've got running around in my mind. What is the actual implications of this? What is it that Bolvar did? Or did Zuval just allow for Bolvar to stay on Azeroth as long as he did with no replacement whatsoever? Because seemingly Bolvar didn't prepare his coming. Seemingly Bolvar didn't play his game, and yet Zuval never removed them, never sent anyone after him until finally opening the way. Perhaps he became just the key bearer? Because we know the helm is the key. The old gods themselves say this, right? The old gods themselves warn that the helm will be the key. So the question becomes, how? Why? Why were we told that you always need a Lich King? Now, I don't have all the answers to this, but it's an interesting theory. It's an interesting thought that I've had that I want to pass off to you. I want to know from you. Why do you think we've always needed a Lich King? Do you think it is just as easy as, well, the Scourge will run rampant and they'll fuck everyone in the ass, so we can't have that? Or do you think maybe there's more to it? Maybe you figured it out, because I haven't. I just know that I think that was a lie. I don't think that you always need a Lich King, and we don't have a Lich King now, and it seems to be fine. It seems to be going well. So what is your theory? Why did Tyrannus Menethil say that at the top of Iceground Citadel? What was the point of that line? Because that line set up everything that followed. If Bolvar didn't accept the mantle of Lich King, they most likely would have hidden the helm. They would have taken the helm into Karazhan, where it would basically be inaccessible to everyone, because as powerful as Sylvana says, I don't know if she would have the time or even the knowledge of Karazhan to really figure out how to get away from it, or how to find it at the very least. Of course, the helm could be a beacon, and that's a whole different story. And depending on how you look at the old god whispers, again, there's an idea there that the old god's very much connected to Zuval, and that they may have been working together at some point. One thing we do know is that Sargeras and Zuval definitely work together, at least based on the evidence that we have right now. There's definitely been some sort of crossover between the two, some sort of mutual goal that they had with one another. But what was that goal? That's the second question that I'll ask you guys to answer in the comment section down below. What was the goal? What were they really looking for? I look forward to reading your answers in the comment section, because, yeah, sometimes these videos are just meant to spark a question, like the post from Morgan FNF. It just sparks questions that I want to share with you, and hopefully answers that I want to gain from you. So let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, if you like videos like this one, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, smash that bell if you would like to be notified of all of the videos. If you hate those notifications, that's fine. Don't smash the bell. To all of the patrons, the YouTube channel members, and of course the Twitch subs, thank you so much for your monthly contributions. It does mean the world to me. Thanks to you guys, this channel is still growing, and it's growing stronger every single day. I quite literally wouldn't be here without you, so I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Guys, as always, my name is Aquilon, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, fam.